Good afternoon. Hi, welcome to the John Gaunt Show. Bit of an impromptu one, this, with it being a Friday, but I just thought I was just sitting there seething. I've had it up to the back teeth with Dumb and Dumber. Yes, and I know it's round the wrong way. That's deliberate. Dumb and Dumber. I cannot believe that Miliband is in charge of our resilience, our energy. Not content with taking us to net zero before we're ready. Now the idiot didn't even know what to say when Heathrow blew up. Well, the generator blew up. What did you make of it? Where's our resilience? I put out a tweet earlier saying, look, it's dead simple. By the way, welcome to the John Gaunt Show. It's dead simple. If you want to attack Britain, terrorists or Mr. Putin, simple. Don't worry putting boots on the ground. Just attack our vital infrastructure, because we obviously haven't got a plan B. It's like in a pantomime, isn't it? What's your plan B? I'll tell you what, plan B, plan B this, plan B that, right? There ain't no plan. There's hardly a plan A. Let's face it, when it comes to Miliband, there's not even a plan A. Just some dumb and dumber idea. Oh, we'll go to net zero by some random date that he's plucked out of the air. He is taking us to hell in a handcart, and the idiot Starmer, who I didn't even want to talk about today, but I've got no choice because he's got the Midas touch in reverse. Everything he touches turns to shit. You know I'm telling you the truth. You know I am. Even if you're a Labour supporter, you can't follow this bloke any longer. We have got to get rid of Dumb and Dumber and the rest of them. I see the new woman who's in charge of energy after the other one got the boot. Not in energy. The other woman, anyway, Louise Haig, she had to go, didn't she, because of her problems with her mobile phone in a previous employment. She's gone. We've now got somebody called Heidi. I don't know about Heidi. Where's Starmer? He's hiding. Why isn't Starmer addressing the nation? Our major airport, one of the busiest airports in the world, is closed today. Why? Because an electricity substation blew up. Was it an accident or was it a terror incident? Well, we know the terrorist division are now looking into it. We'll have to wait and see. But it doesn't matter, because what really matters here is what Miliband and Starmer have done. They've got no backup. Even little caravan sites I've stayed on holidays, they have a backup generator. I don't know what it would be in this situation, but why haven't they got something? And evidently they have, but it was next to the substation that blew up. How ludicrous is this? If you want to make a comment, feel free. The comments are open now. Love to have your views if you want to join in, but I'm quite happy to talk for 20 minutes just myself, because I am so angry with what is going on. It's an absolute outrage, and so should you be. This idiot Starmer, there he is. Look at him in all his glory. He has been pouncing around the world trying to get cures for Ukraine, when President Trump is already dealing with it. If you're enjoying the video, please press the like button. Whether you're on YouTube, Twitter, or Facebook, press the like button. And if you're listening on a podcast later, please press like and share as well. He has been pouncing around the world, and you know why? Because he wants a Nobel Peace Prize. If he doesn't get it, he wants Zelensky to get it. He's on his coattails. But the person who deserves the Nobel Peace Prize, of course, is Donald Trump. Will he get it? Will he? You know he won't get it, because they hate him and the media hate Trump. But he's pulling off peace. He's got Putin talking. He's got Zelensky talking. And even if it turned out that it was Russia that was involved in the blowing up of the substation, which no doubt the British media will try and, mainstream media will try and convince you it is, whoever it is, the bottom line is we should have resilience. And you're only going to get resilience, Keir Starmer, if you put your people first. He's not putting us first. Do you see that? He's not putting us first. He's too busy trying to get a peace prize. He's too busy looking after Zelensky, who's only one step up from Putin anyway, in my opinion. Okay, there's been millions and thousands of deaths, tens of thousands. No one wants to see that. But it's time for the war to stop. And the only person who's got us anywhere close to that is Trump. Did Biden? No, he didn't. But Starmer now wants to get his coalition of the useless to be in charge. He's determined to send your kids to die on the battlefields of Ukraine and Russia. But Putin's already said, I will not have NATO forces or the UN on the ground if we're going to get a peace deal. So he said, no, it's not on. Trump has said he doesn't want to do it. All the countries in this if this coalition was so good, would have the names of every country. Have you seen how they've altered slightly their language? It's not necessarily they're going to give boots on the ground, but they might help out in the background. So Germany, they'll backfill whilst we send our boys to die. I'm laughing because it's so ludicrous. As Starmer sends your daughter, your son, your brother, your husband, your lover to die in the fields of Ukraine, Germany, ever so helpful, and Spain, they're going to put some people in other countries. They're going to put, they'll fill in where we've been already. Oh, that sounds like a good deal, doesn't it, Mr. Starmer? You absolute idiot. And whilst you've been coming up with all this and puffing out your chest and loving the media over the last 3 or 4 weeks, where they've tried to make out that you're a statesman, they even tried to make out you were the next Maggie Thatcher, that this was your Falklands moment. No, it wasn't, because even if you hated Fat Thatcher, she put her people first. She put Brits first, which is why she was often called a racist, which, of course, she wasn't. That difference is, Starmer, she put Britain first. And when you stood up in Parliament, he stood up in Parliament and he basically gave it the big Winston Churchill one, didn't he? We'll fight them on the beaches. Well, you won't fight them in a bloody power station, will you? Because you haven't got any resilience. You're so busy trying to be Winston Churchill. You're so busy trying to win the Nobel Peace Prize. You've left the back door open. You can have the best alarm on your house, but if you leave the door open, people are going to break in. Now, as I say, it might be an accident, but it doesn't matter. If it was just an accident, I don't know, a flock of seagulls. Do you remember that band? They were dreadful, from Liverpool. The guy with the weird hair. But anyway, a flock of seagulls flew into the power station and they blew it up. I used to live in a place called Kingsland Avenue in Chapelfields in Coventry. And there was a Catholic church. I was the last house, number 2, if you need to know. And it's the first house Lisa and I bought. At the back of it, there was a Catholic school and a Catholic church, similar sort of setup. You probably had it where you grew up. And there was a big electricity substation there. Scary as hell, because it used to buzz all night. I never enjoyed living there. I've got to say, I never enjoyed it. Ironically, right, that is the area, the exact area, and those houses, I don't necessarily think it was the house I bought, but where the IRA cell, just before the, not cell, C-E-L-L, before the Birmingham pub bombings, when one of them blew his head off in Coventry, that's where the cell was hiding their weaponry. It's weird how in history some things come around and they gets you thinking. But that electricity substation was never guarded. The IRA were hiding their bombs there. And if it's terrorism again, they may as well have been doing it again. I'm not suggesting this is the Irish Republican Army, but do you see where I'm coming from? Starmer has left the back door. Sorry, I got something in my throat. The back door open. He's a disgrace. He's no Winston Churchill. He's no prime minister. He's no leader of men. And we've got to get rid of him. And when we do get rid of him, just before that, we need to make sure that Miliband goes. Miliband wanted to kill us all by freezing us to death and taking away the British motor car. But he might get his wish quicker because it now looks like he's got no plans. So therefore, any old terrorist can come in and blow up our infrastructure. It's brilliant terrorism. It's the whole definition of terror, isn't it? You close down the biggest airport in Europe, arguably, one of the biggest in the world. The knock-on effects are going to be huge. Not just passengers getting disrupted. Think about the freight. Think about the economic consequences. This is what terrorism aims to do, to disturb and destroy a nation, and probably even to wind up people like me to be so anti-Starmer. But I'm 100% anti now. Afternoon, John. Let's be honest. We're stuck with these idiots for at least 4 years, says Steve on YouTube. No, Steve. That's the talk of a defeatist, my friend. How do we get rid of them? Early answer. We can't. Yes, we can, because we can get to a situation where there's a vote of no confidence. Why do you think they cancelled the local elections? Because they were going to get drubbed, absolutely get their arses smacked by reform. I'm not suggesting reform are in any way in a position to form a government, and certainly the Conservatives aren't. They would be worse probably than Labour, but there is a way of getting rid of them, because it'll be mass discontent. If he got hammered in the local elections, which of course he's now run off from, like the coward he is, like today, where is he? Where's Wally? Let's put out on all ports. What do they call it when they put you on when they know you're a gangster? We've got to find him. We've got to find Starmer. And Starmer, you can talk to us, the British people. I can't believe that there hasn't been an address planned from 10 Downing Street tonight. I can't believe it. He normally loves getting on that lectern, doesn't he? And then giving his monotone speech because I'm so fucking boring, right? But he's not doing it. Why is he not doing it? Is he too busy having his tonsils looked at by his vocal course, a vocal trainer, the woman whose husband was in the Confessions film? Or is he busy having another suit? Ooh, suits you, sir, measured up by Lord Alley. It's pathetic. It's completely wrong. And I shouldn't be the only person getting angry. I've listened to some of the talk radio shows today. None of those morons. GB News, they were talking about flight delays. And, oh, isn't this terrible? It's not about the effing flight delays, you idiots. It's about the damage to our economy. It's about the damage to our standing in the world. Whoever's done this, or even if it's an accident, it's made us look like a laughing stock, an absolute laughing stock. We had no resilience. Do you understand how important this is? We had no plan B. We knew we didn't even have a plan A for net zero, but now it's been proved. And Miliband, he goes on the telly this morning and he didn't know what to say. He's a minister of state. Heidi, the woman who's in charge of transport. Yeah, that's what she's in charge of. She took over from the one who got the bullet because of the problems over her mobile phone. What's Rachel Reeves going to do? She's going to have to rewrite her CV. I hope she's an expert in infrastructure. I really do. Today, our country is being dragged through the mud by these Labour sixth formers who somehow have become our government. And I'm fuming. I don't understand why you're not. It's an absolute outrage. Steve just said that he doesn't think we can do anything about it. Yes, we can, you defeatist. Mark Bart, she did. She was common sense. She had balls, unlike these plebs in Parliament. Martin Smutty Smith has given me a load of hand claps and the 100 in red. Thank you. The plebs in Parliament are an absolutely deceitful bunch of expletives. Nothing happens by chance. This is totally planned. Oh, let's get into this now. This isn't a moment to get into. It's the World Economic Forum. It's much more simple than that. It's Ed Miliband's an idiot. And he hasn't got any resilience. He hasn't got a generator. I'm using simple terms. He hasn't got a generator to keep the busiest airport in Europe alive. Yeah, that's the thing. It doesn't matter whether it's terrorism. I see the BBC are trying to play down the terrorism. It probably isn't. If we're being fair, it may not well be. But the bottom line is our airport is closed. Our country is a laughingstock. Would this happen in America? Would it happen in China? Definitely not. Would it happen in the Far East? Of course it wouldn't. It probably wouldn't even happen in somewhere like Canada. You know, we get a bit of snow. Canada gets tons of it. Next day, the roads are open. You know where I'm coming from. If you want to comment, let's hear from you. Dave Winder, they don't want people travelling aboard anyway because of carbon footprint. Well, that's a side issue. They probably see that as a win. Slippery Starmer will blame more Russia to try and stir up support to put troops on the ground. He probably will. You're probably right. And I'm even so big as if to say it might be Putin. I somewhat doubt it, but it might be. It's much more likely to be terrorists, isn't it? the normal suspects. But we'll have to find out. How can Heathrow Airport, I know exactly where that generator place is as well. You drive that way when you go to Skye. My mate Martin lives around there as well. All the houses had their electricity knocked out. It's just ridiculous. Mark Bart says, I'm with you all the bleeding way, John. Thank you. Bonnie says, this incident has got terrorism written all over it. Yes, it has. But like I say, it might not be. In the end, though, that doesn't really matter. What matters is that we haven't got a plan B. This is just elementary stuff, isn't it? You have your main plan and you have a backup. And so then here's the scary bit. What if somebody, and these things have happened before, poisons the water supply in a reservoir in the Lake District? You thought about this? Have we got a plan B for where we get water from? Have we? See, because this is what I'm getting at. Even if it's not terrorism now, what resilience planning are we doing for the prospect of a terror attack, a mass terror attack like that? We've all seen the films. The BBC love those kinds of movies and TV series to scare the SH1T out of us, don't they? But of course, in the end, the terrorist is always a white fat bloke who supports Millwall. It's not the people who we think. You know what I'm saying. Got a view? Let's hear it. Phil, never mind. Heathrow, Gaunty is on fire today. I am, Phil. I'm working my balls off here because I'm trying to make you people get off your lardy backsides and protest and get angry about this. This is a failure of our whole establishment political class because Starmer's only been in power 7 months. So there was obviously no resilience before then. So now we can blame the Tories. But that's what Starmer will do, is say, we inherited 14 years of misrule. In fact, I think I heard that Heidi woman actually saying that. You can't just keep blaming them. They are in the wrong, and I'm going to give them loads as well. The whole political class, once again, has failed. But the people who are in power at the moment is dumb and dumber. And they've got to go. Ed Miliband has definitely got to get the sack. Today, immediately, out, damn spot, to use a little bit of Macbeth. Is that Macbeth? Yeah. Anyway, so I want your views on that. I am fuming. Pat Burnside says, Starmer and his useless cronies should go and go now. Yes, of course, Pat. But who's going to replace them? Because what I'm saying is this is an indictment of the whole establishment political class. All those Burks on 6-figure salaries, whether they're in the media or whether they run the water companies. I mean, I was just talking about water then and saying, what would we do if terrorists decided to poison our water supply? Well, they don't really need to try, do they? Because Thames Water and people are pumping all that shit into it. We've already got a situation when you don't know what you're drinking out of your tap. Yes? This is just terrible, the state this country is in. Meanwhile, he's poncing around the world with his suits on, bought for him by another bloke, right? Which I find particularly odd. And then talking about world peace and daring. Now, did you see what he said to Putin the other day? Don't you mess with us. It's like Corporal Jones going up to Arnold Schwarzenegger and offering him out, isn't it? There's no chance. Oh, by the way, thanks for your nice comments about me offering out or me being offered out by the president of Finland. I said yesterday it was the prime minister. He did become the prime minister, but then I read again, or somebody told me last night, that guy, John, who you had a fight with in the European Parliament, he's actually now the president of Finland. Jesus, we think we've got problems. Anyway, what we got next? National strike, I hear, being planned in May. Hope millions join. No one will be in a job by then, Bonnie. What are you on about? It's not a strike. Well, I've got to be careful what I say now. I can see me getting closed down. I can see the stormtroopers coming through my front door tonight. You've said something very hurty and very nasty. We're going to lock you up. Anyway, they don't run the airport, says Graham Fletcher. Who doesn't run the airport? Of course the government don't run the airport, you plonker. But in the end, they're responsible for our country's security. They don't officially run the police. They don't run Motor companies. Graham, have you got a problem? You obviously have. You're obviously some kind of left wing. No, Labour never do anything wrong. All the Tories are fascists. They're all bad. Shut up, you absolute moron. I know they don't run it directly, but they're responsible for our security, aren't they? They don't run the small boats that are coming in. They don't run aeroplanes when people are trying to get in illegally. We should be putting the blame for most of this on our political class. And you obviously didn't listen when I said it isn't just Starmer. So, no domestic security. Because I could go on to talk to you about people are coming in. It's easier to get into Britain now, it seems, in a little rubber dinghy than it is to come through the legitimate ways. What are we doing to stop that? And again, that's not just Starmer's fault. The Tories did jack shit about it as well. It's ridiculous. Our great country is being dragged into the mire. Are you with me or against me? If you agree with me, put a note up and tell me. If you disagree, let's have a go. Have a go at me if you think you're hard enough. Come on. And then also as well, if you want to support me, because that's what I need. I need support, and that comes down in the end to pounds, shillings and pence. If you'd like to donate a few quid, you do it from buymeacoffee.com. Buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt. Go on there and then please give me a donation. It all helps. Right, let's move on. Seaside and Mountain Mark says, makes you wonder whether Just Stop Oil have up to the ante with reference to Heathrow. Only modern day Britain could have no plan B when a substation takes out your main airport. We look tin pot nowadays. Well said, Seasider. You're right. I don't know whether it would be Stop Oil because they've caused a lot of environmental damage with the fire, haven't they? So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But they are another suspect within this. But your final point is absolutely right. Only Britain under Labour could have no plan B when a substation takes out your main airport. That's what we're talking about. One station has taken out Heathrow. One. Think about it. Surely you'd have several substations, wouldn't you, in the local vicinity feeding Heathrow. There's been some talk today that maybe Terminal 5 is on a different ring main or whatever you want to call it. I don't know the terms, but you know what I'm saying. I don't need to know the terms. I'm not the Prime Minister. When is he going to address the nation? Come on, let's have one of your boring monochrome monologues. We can't wait, Sakia. You're a natural. Get her to quickly tickle your tonsils or whatever she does to get you vocally warmed up. It's all about your diaphragm. I remember when I studied drama. Maybe she puts her hand on your diaphragm, which is just above you. You know where it is, don't you, Kia? I bet, eh? Hey, let's have some voice lessons. Come on, Kia. Pat Burnside says 100% agree. Thank you. Well, if you do, give us a donation. Kevin Barnfield, I'm with you, John. Thank you, Kevin. Same message to you. I'm with you, John, all the way. Nobody does it better than Gaunty. You're right, Steve. That's on YouTube. Yeah, pity I haven't got a job, isn't it? Pity that I'm blackballed by the whole of the media establishment. What are they scared of? Are they scared of somebody who can argue like I can, who can put forward a point like I can, who can get people going like I can? Would they be scared of that? No. They'd much rather have some bland idiot reading off an autocue, wouldn't they? I couldn't believe it. GB News today, you were pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Talking about passengers being held up. Oh, so-and-so. She's got to get to so-and-so for such and such. That isn't important. Our country is under attack. Our country's at war. Our country's being invaded. And you're talking about whether somebody's going to get a flight on EasyJet. There was another couple. They'd been moved to Edinburgh. And they were moaning, oh, we just spent 900 quid. We got the last 2 seats on an EasyJet flight. Now, if they're telling the truth, Stelios should be whipped at half-time at the next Luton football match. The boss of, well, he was the boss of EasyJet. I'm using him as a symbol, right? He should be whipped at half-time, which, let's face it, would be much better than the football they've been playing recently. However, you should not be allowed to profiteer off the back of it. But this old couple, oh, yeah, we had to pay more money to get... No, you didn't. Just stay there, wait for your compo, then come home. Just relax. We're being invaded. We're at war. And you're worried about your poxy EasyJet flight. People like you make me want to vomit. Sorry, I've gone a bit far there. That's why I'm not on mainstream radio. Where are we up to next? Starmer and Labour have neglected the pressing concerns that we've all got about our borders, about our crime rates, about our vital infrastructure, like the potholes in the road. There's more potholes here than there was in Iraq or where there was on the Somme, right? They've focused so heavily on Ukraine and foreign affairs. The lack of attention to issues like knife crime. It's Stab City in London, isn't it? Illegal immigration in Dover, but also everywhere else in the country. And then the vulnerability of key infrastructure has put our country, our great nation, the nation that won 2 world wars and 1 World Cup, 2 world wars, we are in danger. We have been weakened by the idiots in government. Now, the idiots in government at the moment are Starmer and Miliband. They must go. But don't get me wrong. The whole political class is to blame for this. So busy going all about woke and worrying about rainbow races and all the police are pigs. They're all fascist and they do this. And, it's a stop oil protester. He's only closed down London for the day by gluing his hand to the road. No, we shouldn't just go there and rip his hand off. That would be inhumane. What about his human rights? What about his human rights? What about my human rights? What about me wanting to live in peace? And also then tarring us as if we're all bloody racist when we're clearly not. We're clearly one of the most tolerant countries in the world. And then rising crime, a lack of investment in security, weak, namby-pamby, limp-wristed. Oh, let's have a tofu burger. Let's wear Birkenstock sandals. Let's go to Kefalonia and go skinny dipping. The view of the world has wrecked this country. And it's been under Labour, the Conservatives, and then, of course, you've got the Lib Dems, that idiot who likes going on roller coasters. He chips in as well. We need to get this country back. This country needs to be back to what it was. Imagine if we were like this in the Second World War or the First World War. We wouldn't have stood a chance. Who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Hitler? Oh, come in. I like your uniform. Oh, yes. Come on, you can be whatever you want to be in Britain. What, you want to be a Nazi? That's fine by me, right? It's this kind of nonsense. You want to be part of a cult that basically says women are second-class citizens. You want to throw homosexuals off buildings. Oh, that's all right, Mr. Nazi. In you come. We are the laughingstock of the world. And it's no wonder when you see the failures of leadership at the top. I am rather angry about it. Are you? Let me hear. Steve, on with you. I've done that one. Who knows who's running around this country? Terrorists, rapists, murderers. No one has any idea. The invasion is well underway. Now about that huge mosque being built in the Lake District. I ain't got a problem with that, as long as they go through planning correctly, as long as they don't do what they do in Luton when I was working there, which is on a Friday, park all over the streets, and the parking rules don't seem to apply to them. That's the only thing I would say. I don't care. Listen, I've got to tell you this, Bonnie. I don't care what God you pray to. I don't even care really about some of the stupid ideas that all religions have got. I don't give. All I want to do is live in peace and harmony, right? And if you want to go and do that, that's fine. It won't stop me going to get a curry from my local Muslim curry house, will it? Yeah, let's just live together. That seems perfectly reasonable to me. Michael Fenton Crenshaw, rather missing the point of the programme. I like your pineapple T-shirt, mate. The shirt, mate. Thank you, Michael. Fashion as well, eh? Here I am, literally almost having a heart attack and a brain hemorrhage as I explain to you my frustration. And Michael wants to, I like your fashion. Sorry, but I don't know whether he'd speak like that. But it's a bit like I'm suddenly on the clothes show. Michael, this is serious politics. Serious, as Mr. Marley would say. You may not agree with me, John, but Rupert Lowe is your man to reform this country. No, he's not. He's just another upper-class tosser. He's just as bad as the rest of them. He won't change anything. Michael Fenton Crenshaw now is trying to go on politics after talking about my shirt. Do you like my shirt? He said, good luck trying to live in harmony with Islam. Well, you can. It's Islamists you can't live in harmony with. See, and that's why I'm saying, Michael, don't be like that. Don't be pushed down this line. What they want, the establishment, Starmer, Miliband, they want to divide and rule. So if they can make the working class hate each other, it's an old trick. This is why none of them have ever got on top of the boats. They want us to be scared of refugees, gypsies, thieves, and da 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 da. It's that. It's be scared. It's like at Christmas. Your mum and dad. If you're not a good boy for the next 6 years, Father Christmas won't come. It's BS. Did you never realise that? And also, Father Christmas, he doesn't exist. It's just like 57 virgins when you go to heaven. It doesn't exist. Just like put up with all the crap that you've got here, because when you go to heaven after you've been abused by the parish priest, you're going to have a wonderful life. It's going to be wonderful. It's all tosh. Just my opinion. You could hold whatever religious belief you want, but that's what I think. Right, I'm going to stop in a minute because I'm going to blow a fuse. Seasider Mark, Dumb and Dumber is one of my favourite films. I didn't think we'd be living it too, and that's what it feels like. It also feels a bit like, what's that brilliant film? The Truman Show, where every day it just gets worse. Or that other one. What's that one where it's the same day gets repeated? Come on. What's it called? You know what I mean. Anyway, Bonnie says, well, you won't live in peace as the Muslim community will not integrate. 1,500 mosques in London. Yeah, but many of them are just terrace houses. Was all this violence in the UK before the Muslim invasion? National Front. Should we talk about that? Yeah, there was. Remember Blair Carroll? Was his name Blair Carroll? Blair Carroll. I went to school with. That's another one. But Blair somebody, he got murdered. Anyway, you are deluded, John, if you think the Muslims want peace. They want Islam to take over the UK. Open your eyes. Bonnie, my eyes are wide open. There's good Muslims and there's bad Muslims. There's very devout Muslims and not so devout Muslims. There are Islamists who say they're Muslims, and there are people who hate the Islamists who are Muslims. So I just think what you're saying is nonsense. Have you heard of a man called Taj Haji, runs the Oxford Muslim community? Fabulous man. Right? So you can't tar everybody with the same brush. That is dangerous, Bonnie. And that's what leads to the establishment always being in charge. That's what happened in the summer. Did you not see it? When people started rioting and wanting to burn out the refugees or the asylum seekers, whatever you want to call them, that allowed that man, him, Starmer, that allowed him to put them all in prison. That's where the rot started with this government. That's what he wants. Don't play up to him. Beat him with your brain. Beat him with your logic. And beat him by living in harmony with decent people. I don't like the Jewish religion. I don't like the Muslim religion. I've not got much time for Hindus or Sikhs. I've got a bit more time for Sikhs. But only because a load of my mates are Sikhs. But I think their religion is dodgy. But that's up to them. I would never say all Sikhs are this, all Muslims are that, because that's fascist. It's just, and it's also childish and stupid. Just stupid. Thistle says, I totally agree. Bonnie is still on one. So should we just put up and shut up? No, we shouldn't. If you see an Islamist doing something wrong, or you feel they're being a fascist, point it out. Just like you should point it out to somebody else if they were doing something wrong. If your mate makes a racist joke, don't laugh just because you feel embarrassed. Say, hey up, that's out of order. I nearly got into a fight this morning in my local cafe, right? I go there every day. It's my favourite thing. It's part of I call it part of my mental rehabilitation. I go in there and I have my cappuccino, and I've been eating avocado. I can't believe what I've become. Avocado with a bit on toast with, what do I have it with? Avocado on, with vine tomatoes. Beautiful. Anyway, there was this bloke in there today with his girlfriend. She was on the bench seat and he was on a seat, normal seat, and he put his feet up on the chair that was next to him. So as I walked past, I very pointedly just stared at him and then stared down at his feet, stared at his girlfriend, and I could see him bristle. I thought, hey, he's going to start. I really hope you start, mate, because if you do, I'm going to sort you out and humiliate you in front of this whole cafe. Because I think it's outrageous. The woman who runs the cafe, she does a brilliant job. Her name's Lynn. She's put all her money into it, and it's very successful because she works her balls off. And this bloke shows no respect, puts his feet on the furniture, and it's like, grey, sort of leathery PVC stuff. You just don't do it. It's like yobbos on the train. I wouldn't just sit there and let some yobbo play his music full blast and have his feet on the furniture. I would say something. And I would look around the carriage and say, are you joining me in this? This is wrong. This is completely and utterly wrong. I've got hiccups. I do apologise. You've got me going. Oh, yeah. So Bonnie Carrington. So you'd ban Chubby Brown then? What, Bonnie, are you on drugs? How do you go from Muslims hating all them all to Chubby Brown? No, I wouldn't ban Chubby Brown. My best mate is dead now, God rest his soul, Banger, was his personal bodyguard for 25 years. I've met him. It's not my kind of humour, but I don't think he should be banned. I think he should be allowed to perform, especially in council venues where they are banned. Of course he should. All comedy should be allowed, Bonnie. Bonnie, you need to get your head out of your arse and actually think in a more wide way. Just because you believe one thing, not every idea you have or belief you hold has to come out of the same file. As I got older, I realized that. And then I also realized it doesn't have to come out of the same filing cabinet drawer, or even the same filing cabinet total, or even the same office. You can have different views and you can learn from experience. And that's the way to be a grown-up. Bonnie Carrington, I've had enough of you now, love. She now says, no, you are. You just said don't laugh at racist jokes. There's a big difference between not laughing at one of Chubby Brown's jokes and wanting him banned. I don't want him banned. One of the funniest acts I ever saw, and I saw him many, many times, was Bernard Manning. You couldn't help but laugh at some of the jokes. Well, all of the jokes. Very funny guy. People wanted to ban him. He should never have been banned. Likewise, Chubby Brown. It's not what I would choose to go and watch, but if other people want to, there you are. Graham Fletcher says, I'm not a plonker and I'm not left-wing or a moron. Apologise. I don't apologise to people like you who say stupid things. You think before you speak, my friend. This is the one who said, let me just find what he said earlier. Mira Time Eager says, Groundhog Day. That's the film. Thank you, my friend. Great show, mate. You're right. Thank you very much indeed. I'm trying to find this bit. Graham Fletcher. Oh, he was the one who told us they don't run the airport. What, you think I don't know that? You think I don't understand there's no longer a water board? I've been 30-odd years in talk or radio, my friend. That's why I called you a moron or whatever I called you. And no, I don't apologise. I won't be apologising to you. Don't like it? Don't listen, don't watch, don't subscribe, don't get involved. It's fine by me because my audience is growing all the time. Because do you know what I do? I just tell the truth. I just say what I feel. But do you know what? When you say it's not the truth, like Bonnie's had a row with me, although she just agreed with me now. Bernard was one of the greats. She's right. He's one of the best gag tellers the world has ever seen. Yeah, he was. There's no two ways about it. But I just say what I feel, and it's my truth. Lots of people agree with my truth. Lots of people don't agree. Some people vehemently disagree with it. Why do you think I lost my radio career? Because I don't say what you expect me to say. And I don't say things just for effect. I just say what I believe. Oh, here's another one trying to educate me. Islam is not peace. Read the hadiths. Then maybe you might realize the problem we're facing in this country. I have done. And I don't agree with you. I do not agree with you. Okay? You're paranoid. The way to deal with that is to show what a liberal, tolerant country can be, what a modern democracy. Anyway, I'm not going to get distracted by a few idiots. Okay? Bonnie's good. She says it's always good to have a debate and hear each other's opinions. Thank you, Bonnie. That's what it's about. And see, Bonnie's a proper woman. I've had a go at her today, and she's had a go back. We've had a pop, and then at the end of it, we just get on with our lives. It's like the idiots who go, "Well, I hated you because of COVID." Think I'm bothered? You think I'm bothered? Oh, talking of which, comment relief tonight. Why? That's all I'm going to say. Why? I'm glad they raised a lot of money, but it's kind of weird, isn't it? Fifth strongest economy in the world, and we have to raise money for dying kids from somebody sitting in a bath full of baked beans or reviving Lenny Henry's career. I just don't get it. I don't think it's right. Just like I don't think it's right that hospices have to be funded through charitable donations. It should be funded by the government. Well said, John, says Thistle. Michael, give up. You're not clever enough to take me on. He says, we're not idiots, John. We are telling the truth. Oh, yeah. Okay. Fair enough. You revel in your ignorance. Anyway, but you're tuning again because you love me. That's the bottom line. I loved it. I thought it was a great show. I say Starmer's got to go. I say Miliband's got to go. Tune into some of those talk radio stations tomorrow or later tonight. The people who imitate my act and sanitize it and sort of bring it down to basics. They'll all be using my arguments later, but just in a nice way because they're polite boys, because they all really want to work for the BBC. They don't want to be on some boxy talk radio station, do they? Anyway, I do. I'd do it. Labour's got to go, says this. Well, I've got to go as well. Really have. Thanks very much. I enjoyed it, even if you didn't. If you did enjoy it, please buy me a coffee. www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt, or at least subscribe to my YouTube channel, whatever you fancy. Oh, Michael. Right, I'm not going to even read that out, Michael, because you're a child. Bonnie Carrington says, good show, John. Thank you, Bonnie. We're friends again at the end. If we go to war with Ukraine, will the Ukraine men in the UK join us? We're not going to go to war with Ukraine, and our men aren't going to go, that's for sure. Oh, our women. The Ukrainian men probably will, because it's their country, and they should, shouldn't they? Anyway, Thistle, give me a clap. I'm off. I'll see you tomorrow. I might do one tomorrow. I'm meant to go out with one of my best mates, my oldest mates, Dave. He's just rung up saying, do you want to go out on a sesh at lunchtime tomorrow? I'm meant to be healthy living, but I'm not going out tonight now, so I'll watch Death in Paradise. Do you like it? Oh, I love it. I think the New Detective's great, by the way, the black guy. It's giving a right good dimension to it, hasn't it? It's just my escapism. What do you call it? It's my that guy on Radio 1 used to do it. It's like it's your thing that you shouldn't admit that you do. It's like when they say, what's the first record you bought, Gaunty? I would say David Bowie, and they go, oh, you're cool. You can see they all think you're cool, right? And then you say, yeah, but it's that one. I've forgotten it now. What's the one where the I'm the laughing gnome? I'm the laughing gnome and you don't love me. That one, right? It's hardly the Thin White Duke, is it? Oh, well done, slapping a bird's bottom. He says, guilty pleasure. That's right. Sean Rowler. I worked with him at BBC London. Very nice guy. Thistle says, have a nice the rest of your day. Lovely listening to you. I don't think it's lovely. By the way, that's a record for the live views today. Thank you very, very much indeed. Unbelievable. I don't bother advertising it. I just go on. 10 minutes later, it's packed. So I'm not going to do advance warning anymore, because then I get about, two blokes and his dog listening. So thank you. If you're listening later or watching it later, that's fine. That's all part of it. It all builds the numbers. Thank you very much indeed. Right. Until we meet again, if you've got kids, give them a kiss, give them a hug. Hey, hey, hey. Don't forget to tell them you love them. I can't believe I've starred with Dumb and Dumber. Unbelievable. See you soon. Bye.